And we are live. We are back with not your typical Battle of the Americas. We're back with OSC 2021 Super Series Mid-Season Playoffs number 3, Battle of the Americas Qualifier. Oh boy. I'm your host, Light VIP, and with me, I am joined by my beautiful plushies. I don't have them behind me this time as I was up quite late last night at the studio casting Ains at champs. I highly recommend tuning into the VODs because ESL Australia did produce a show, a StarCraft show last night. It was beautiful, it was amazing, and it doesn't stop because StarCraft just keeps on going on. It's fine. It's early morning here, but we'll get through it. We'll get through it as we have our first series of the day. Exclamation mark Funada Darking. As Darking, he's usually our admin for these tournaments. Unfortunately, he is unavailable today, so Kuro is kind of running the show a little bit at the moment. So shout out to Kuro in the chat. 16th squad Senseki. She's making sure the ship doesn't burn down as we are finally diving into our first series. Oh boy. We were talking about it in the chat. JimRising was playing some Halo Infinite, some League of Legends, and some Age of Empires 4, but he has finally found some time to join us here, thankfully, and we're diving into our first series of the night. And speaking of, spawning in the top right hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE, okay, cool. We have the Mexican Zerg player. He is blue, representing Los Macacos all over the world and Timbers Esports. It is JimRising. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres ALE, we have the Peruvian Protoss. He's been popping off recently. He's the red Protoss, representing Root Gaming. It is INFANSON. Marooned. Let's go. So it's been a while since we've casted JimRising, I'll be honest. We've been obviously covering Battle of the Americas and Sentimiento Latino and Copa Hyperion whenever we can. But if you're regular in these tournaments, you would have realized, hold on a second, it's been maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3, almost a month, I think, since we've seen JimRising compete in StarCraft. Ever since Age of Empires came out, he has been grinding that out, like 24/7. It's been insane. He's just been playing nothing but Age of Empires. He's been playing a lot of League of Legends, and as we saw, Halo Infinite released, I think last night or 2 days ago, something like that, and he's also been grinding that out. So it is a little bit of a shame in a way, because we haven't been seeing him. But he's still an amazing player, and he still loves StarCraft. That's why he's here, obviously. This is where he was kind of born and raised. And we'll see how he does, because again, he's a little bit out of practice. But, you know, JimRising, he's been around the block. Like, how out of practice can you really be when you've been competing at a pro level, at the highest level of play for many, many years? Meanwhile, INFANSON, he is the up-and-comer. We were talking about it. He made it to the ace match against Ryu in the Sentimiento Latino. He made it to the finals of the Battle of the Americas. I think the last Battle of the Americas, maybe the one before that. So recently, INFANSON has been performing incredibly well. He still doesn't have that like big win under his belt, but he's been getting there. It's been really impressive to see him improve over time, and I'm very excited to see how he does. Not necessarily like in this tournament, because, you know, Cham's here, but next year in DreamHack Summer especially. Like, how much is this Protoss player going to improve over the next couple of months? That's kind of where I'm looking here. Also, hey, if he can go to the ace match against Ryu, an out of shape JimRising, yo, Maroon, INFANSON, he can take it to him. JimRising, his worst matchup is ZVP. He hates this matchup with a passion. But SkyToss is not coming his way because we do have a Twilight Council opener from the side of INFANSON. This will get scouted as the Stalker was a little bit out of position, was not able to deny this Overlord, so the Overlord does dive in. JimRising is aware, and we should be seeing a Roach Warren. Shit. Oh god, as he goes for a fast lair? Okay, we're good. There is that Roach Warren on the way as well. With this fast lair, he can also invest into detection, into an Overseer, just in case there's a Dark Shrine behind this, if necessary. I do think that the lair is a little bit greedy though. Not gonna lie. I do feel like, I don't know if he should be spending resources there, because he's gonna need Lings, he's gonna need Roaches, he's droning up! Which, again, for now is fine. Ideally, you want to get up to around 40 drones and then you stop. So hopefully he doesn't go too far and too deep into this. I'm just really concerned because he just made another wave of drones and he hasn't made any Lings. The Adepts are getting ready to move out. Like, Roaches are good. Ideally, you have Lings to chase down the Adepts, because even though Roaches can win in a head-on engagement, Adepts will bypass them and they will bounce between the bases. What I will say though is, I don't know if this is some kind of read from Jim or not. Let me just quickly check, because this actually wasn't 4-gate Blink Stalkers. There's only 3 here. And I assumed that we were going to be seeing a War Prism coming out from INFANSON, but there was no War Prism. Just the initial wave of Adepts. And this doesn't have that much potential. We have our Roaches, the Adepts shade back instead of forward, so that he's playing a little bit more safer. This also means that Jim apparently didn't need Lings to chase the shade. Like, Jim is defending fine. I do feel like if INFANSON was more committed with this, like with an extra gateway and with a War Prism, I think he would have dealt so much more damage, I'll be honest. Like there's barely any Roaches right now. And I'm pretty sure Jim didn't necessarily like confirm either, so there was potential here. There was potential for INFANSON, but in the end, he's taking a more safer approach here, just poking and prodding, never committing with his Adepts. And in the end, he's actually backing off and transitioning into Blink Stalkers, which I do like. Again, Blink Stalkers, they do so well against pure Roach or Roach Ravager compositions. Once you mix Lings in there, it does get a little bit wonky. But overall, this is a decent transition. I say decent just because, like, part of me would have preferred maybe even a Robotics Bait to go straight into Disruptors. He is delaying that for +1 Blink instead, investing his gas elsewhere. Oh my god, meanwhile, as I look at the chat, massive shout out to Space Moon Milk. Oh my god, it's been a while since we've seen you in the chat. Yes, hopefully we see some Viper suckle some youth juice later on today. As the Roaches are gonna be hitting the 3rd base. No, the sentries! Oh my god, no force fields whatsoever. The 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd sentry get picked off just like that. There's 1 shield battery, but there's nothing to use that shield battery on, as where are the units? They're finally coming out, but this 3rd is so exposed. Shield battery gets depowered. There's no shield battery here at the natural base. INFANSON, things are going from bad to worse here as JimRising rocks up with his Roach Ravager. All these workers are going to go down. The 3rd could go down as well. And INFANSON can't really stop him. He just doesn't have a lot going on for him. He has 1 Immortal, which is cool, but it's nowhere near enough here as the Nexus does end up falling. The Roach Ravager, he's just going to be able to close it. Oh no, the Immortal's exposed! And the lack of micro there. The War Prism just stood there and watched as the Immortal fell before him, and now he floods into the natural base. Again, no shield battery. There's nothing at all. Wow. And JimRising, he still got it as he takes game 1. Can you say, oh, God damn it. God damn it, Canuck. Aye. Who put me in charge of the ship? I can't swim. It's fine, Kuro. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. As Jim does take game number 1. Oh, I should probably also just switch on over to this scene here as... There we go. You can see the bracket. Again, I didn't really get to dive too deep into this, but this isn't your regular Battle of the Americas. It is a qualifier. So the way this works is that over the course of a season, players were ranked based off of their performance over said season. You know, how many tournaments did they win, how many second places, how many top 4 finishes, and based off of that, there was a ranking, there was a list, and these are our top 4 players from this tournament series. We did exclude players who already qualified through other tournament series like Cock of the Walk and what's the other one? Psystorm Cup, and I want to say Indie K Weekly. Hold on, I can just double check. There is another tournament that I'm missing. I know there's a European one. So the next map has been made. CSO Cup. That's it. But yeah, through all these tournament series, like they all go through the same system. And just make sure I got all my boys. And yeah, 2 players will qualify if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 2 players will qualify. Top two. Not just one like times in the past. So yeah, we have our 2 Mexican players, JimRising and Cham. We have our Peruvian Protoss in INFANSON, and we also have an American Zerg player in Kazmir. Oh boy. So yes, 2 of these 4 players will make it through. Obviously, the player who should 100% make it through is Cham. Cham is kind of our golden boy here at Battle of the Americas, but we'll see. Upsets can always happen. They can. As we dive into game number 2 here of our best of 3 series, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Blackburn ALE, representing the land of Mexico, it is the Blue Zerg player, representing Timbers Esports, JimRising, aka Barcode. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Blackburn ALE, we have... No! I clicked on the wrong flag! Ah, God. My apologies. It is not the Chilean. It is the Peruvian Protoss. He is red, representing Root Gaming. It is INFANSON. Oh boy. As this game is getting underway, and again, like, honestly, I feel like INFANSON would have benefited so much more if he had just committed to the Glaive Adept opening instead of feigning into it and then just quickly pivoting into Blink Stalkers, because honestly, let's be real, we didn't get to talk about it. Going into those Glaive Adepts and going into the Glaive upgrade was a complete waste of resources, especially because nothing came of it. You could argue maybe he kept Jim honest at home and forced him to make roaches instead of drones, but then he made roaches. and then he counterattacked with the roaches, and that was it, right? So yeah, I do question that opener in game 1 from INFANSON, and I hope he's able to, again, maybe shake off some nerves, maybe shake off some rust, and execute his opener, his build a little bit better here in game 2. Because this is a best of 3, you know? He's up against the walls. Jim only needs one more, uno más, to advance on to the next round. Doesn't take much, mate. Doesn't take much. Meanwhile, this is a double elimination bracket, so regardless of who wins and who loses here, the loser will still have a chance to move on, so it's not the biggest of deals, right? They still have another life in them. And fun fact, all the lower bracket matches are going to be best of 5s. The upper bracket matches are best of 3s. So again, it's just one of those things where in that lower bracket, the losers, they do have the best chance to make it out there in a longer series. The comeback potential is there. As we do have a decent amount of lings on the way here, which is interesting. Jim pulled out of gas. He has ling speed on the way, halfway done now. He's barely droned. He does have 19, but honestly, that's not that much. The lings are about to rock up. The wall is not a wall. Jim sees this, by the way. There's no shield battery. There's no probe to wall off. Is this, like, slow ling flood gonna work? This shouldn't be working, but the first adept goes down. The second one almost gets surrounded. If Link Speed was done, this would be so much more better, so much more efficient. Up, up. Oh my god, and we have more Lings behind this. Again, the Link flood is actually happening. This is working, by the way. Again, only one adept. There were no more shield batteries thrown down. INFANSON did not take this seriously enough. And just like that, that's all the units of INFANSON. And the pylon's gonna get depowered. The gateway is going to be depowered. We do have a full wall off. Yo, that was so clutch. But the adept will not come out. We do have a void ray on the way. The first one is already completed here. But at the same time, it's going to take so long for this void ray to kill all these Lings. Oh god, and the second void ray isn't going to come out. Mate, this is over before it began. It's done. Like, there's no way. The Lings, they come in. There's no production. Zero production right now. Workers against Lings. Everything is going to fall before this void ray does anything, mate. GG gets called. Oh my god. Jimbo. What? What is there to say? What can I say? I don't even know, mate. GG, well played. Congratulations, JimRising, for taking down INFANSON in a very interesting fashion. Again, INFANSON was just being very greedy. It is very typical for a Protoss player to delay their wall to get a faster Stargate. Makes sense. But then you have to bring into account the map. Blackburn, shortest or one of the shortest rush distances when it comes to maps in the current map pool by ground. So for you to open up that greedy and not prioritize that wall, or again be ready for that kind of scenario, then you do leave yourself open to be abused, and that's exactly what JimRising did.